There's a subtle but powerful habit most people fall into without realizing it. We don't just have problems, we begin to become them. The shift is quiet. It happens in language first, then in identity. How we end up identifying with our problems. At the beginning, a problem is just an experience. I'm feeling anxious. I'm going through financial stress. I made a mistake. But over time, something changes. The mind compresses the experience into identity. I am anxious. I'm bad with money. I'm a failure. That shift from having to being is the root of identification. Why the mind does this? The mind is a pattern-making machine. It tries to create consistency and predictability. If something happens repeatedly, it assumes, this must be who I am. There are a few deeper mechanisms at play. 1. Repetition becomes identity. If you experience the same emotional state often enough, your brain builds a narrative around it. Not just this happens to me, but this is me. 2. Language reinforces identity. The way we speak seals it. Saying I am depressed is very different from I'm experiencing depression. But the mind doesn't distinguish. It internalizes both. 3. Emotional intensity creates imprinting. Strong emotions, shame, fear, grief, bind tightly to memory. The more intense the experience, the more likely it is to fuse with identity. 4. Social reflection. Other people mirror labels back to us. You're always like this. You're the anxious one. You never follow through. Eventually, we accept those reflections as truth. What spiritual traditions have said about this? Across different systems, there's a shared recognition. The self is not the problem. It is the witness of it. In Buddhism, there's the concept of non-self, anatta. It teaches that what we call self is a collection of changing experiences, thoughts, sensations, emotions, not a fixed identity. Anxiety arises. It passes. But there is something aware of it that does not change. In Taoism, there is an emphasis on flowing with experience rather than clinging to it. Problems are seen as temporary imbalances, not defining traits. And when you stop resisting the river, you stop calling yourself the storm. In Advaita Vedanta, there's a clear distinction between the self, pure awareness, and the mind, thoughts and identities. You are not the voice in your head, you are the one who hears it. All three traditions converge on one idea. Identification is a misplacement of awareness. How to stop identifying with your problems. This isn't about denying problems or pretending they don't exist. It's about changing your relationship to them. 1. Shift your language. This is more powerful than it seems. Instead of, I am stressed, try, stress is present. I'm experiencing stress right now. This creates space between you and the experience. You're no longer fused with it, you're observing it. 2. Practice witnessing, not fixing. Most people immediately try to solve or suppress what they feel, but the deeper move is to observe it. Sit with the feeling and ask, where do I feel this in my body? Does it move? Does it change? You'll notice something important. The problem is not stable. It's moving. If it moves, it cannot be you. 3. See the impermanence clearly. Every problem you've ever had has either changed, faded, or been replaced by another. Yet something has remained constant through all of it, your awareness. That's the part that isn't the problem. 4. Stop building narrative around sensation. A sensation happens. Tight chest leads to mind says, I'm anxious. Low energy leads to mind says, I'm lazy. But those are interpretations. Try stripping it down. There is tightness. There is heaviness. Without the story, the identity weakens. 5. Question the I. When you say, I am this problem. Ask, who is the I here? Is it the thought, or the one noticing the thought? That small inquiry creates distance, and in that distance, identity loosens. A subtle but important truth. You don't actually need to remove identification. You only need to see it clearly. Once you see that, thoughts arise on their own. Emotions move like weather, and identity is constructed afterward. The grip naturally weakens. A grounded way to hold it, instead of saying, "This is who I am," you begin to live from, "This is something I'm experiencing right now." That one shift restores flexibility, clarity, and, quietly, freedom.